Hello everyone and welcome back to the Integrity Botanicals YouTube channel. Today I am revisiting an old favorite. It has been a long time. In fact, I was like, I cannot believe it's been so long since I've discussed these, and you've seen them pop up in a tutorial here and there, but some new shades have been released since I last spoke about them, so it is worth a revisit, and that is none other than the GRESSA eye tints. I think it's one of those products that if you do love them, you get it. You love all of them. And for those of us who are like, I don't quite understand those. They're very different. They're very unique. And I'm going to sort of share the colors with you here today, speak about the formula, and then I would love to do a video where I share with you the different ways to use these products because they are so versatile, and I think that's why I have loved them consistently for so long. So per usual, let's just start off with the packaging. GRESSA has since repackaged since I talked about these last, and you will have seen that because it was just across the board. GRESSA now has these beautiful rose gold caps with the G embossed in them, frosted glass bottoms, and I love that because it's like the RMS, so underneath you get a little peek of the color and the shade name will be written there as well. So it's just screw open, close. They all are formulated in these little pots. I have 9 shades, $36 a piece, and they are a completely vegan formulation as well, which I believe all GRESSA products are, which I think is incredible. But these are essentially like a multi-use, highly versatile eyeshadow. But the texture is what is very, very unique about them. So they can be used as a liner, as a heavy shadow. They can be sheared out. They can be built up. And when you touch them, they have this, it almost feels like a cream to the touch. Some of them feel more creamy than others, and I will discuss that. But they are a velvety, super thin powder finish. They are so cool. And if you have not ever used these products, I will try to get up close and personal so that you can see. I like to use with both my finger and a brush. It doesn't really matter, it's up to you, and I think it depends on the way that you would like these to look. So like I said, there's 9 shades. I'm gonna run through them. I'll discuss different textures, different finishes, because that is definitely nice and diverse in this lineup as well. And I'm just gonna kind of go light to dark like I usually do. So first up is the shade Neve. And Neve is this really creamy bone color. At first, I was like, this might be one of the more sheer ones, or kind of use like a brow bone highlight, something like that. This is actually so richly pigmented and one of the more creamy options as well. This one is so pigmented to the touch. It also looks the most creamy when you run your finger in it as well, but this one is great to sheer out. So I actually like to wear this color all over the lid, and it'll kind of just blank everything out like a bare canvas. Now, I don't really like using these as primers because they're not cream, so they don't really stick, so they don't act as a base for anything to adhere to. But since they are so thin, you can see that there's a lot of brightness here that you can even tell on my hand. It makes the area so light and bright without looking like I just cut my crease or something like that. But you could build this up to do a cut crease or something like that as well. So it's really versatile in that way. It would, of course, only look like a more fleshy tone on someone with a lighter complexion. Otherwise, it's just a really great, it's not quite white. It has a little bit of yellow in there, so it's a true, very, very pigmented bone shade that can be sheared out beautifully. Next up is the shade Cellophane, and Cellophane is probably the one that I love the most. I did also quickly want to take the time to say you really have to make sure that you are screwing the cap on these, otherwise they will dry out. And they still work when they're kind of dried out, actually, just in a different way. So just putting that out there. Cellophane. Oh my god. Cellophane is a much more gritty texture, and I find that you don't get as much payoff on your finger, but what I love about the shade is that it is like the most gorgeous, stunning adult glitter. I've been known to compare this to like a Tom Ford shadow many a time. I love applying this right on top of something that I've used. I've done a lot of tutorials with the shade, so I'll try to include some of those down below as well. But it is this light baby pink with this silver glitter inside. And it just looks so mature and sophisticated. It's not chunky, it's so fine, but picks up the light so beautifully. It is like so extra super special. I cannot say enough good things about this shade. It is incredible. Next up, we have the shade Oreo. And Oreo, oh, and I have Cellophane in my inner corner here today. I did use Neve to kind of base out my eyelid, but then I went on top with this next shade, and this next shade is Oreo. And Oreo, I think, would be the fan favorite. It is like the easiest to use. It looks good on everyone because it's just a true, this one has a little bit more of a gritty texture as well, more velvety than creamy, but it's almost like when you touch it, you feel like, is there gonna be anything there? And there's a lot of pigment. So Oreo is this beautiful gold. The base of it is very gold as well. It does have a little bit of glitter in there. But again, very adult, very beautiful, picks up the light in a way that I cannot even quite describe. It is extra super special gold shade that looks good on everyone. Like I said, I predominantly use that on my lid, or I really like to use it in the inner corner as well. It looks fantastic. Next up is the shade Roasted. And Roasted I do have in my crease today. I did go over with an orange powder shadow just to add a little bit of warmth because Roasted is a very cool toned matte shade. Very, very creamy like Neve. I think those matte shades have a little bit more of a creamy texture to them. But Roasted is a super duper cool tone shade. Like a contour. So what I actually like to do with this is contour my eye shape. So if you were to use Neve on your eyelid, this in the crease, you would get that super sculpted, like 90s supermodel sort of look. You guys just know cool tones aren't my favorite on me, but this is so great for mapping out an eye shape. And then you could do what I did, just run a little bit of warm shadow through the crease if that's your preference. But it's the most beautiful mid-tone, super cool tone shade. I would actually be curious to experiment using this as a contour on my face because it reminds me a lot of the Kevyn Aucoin sculpting powder in medium. It is like that exact shade if you are familiar with that product. Regardless, it's gorgeous, and I see this being the perfect everyday shade for those of you who really like your cool tones. Next up is the shade Bronze, and Bronze, so far we've done matte, we've done glitters. This is more of a metallic finish. This one's kind of similar to Oreo. And Bronze is, of course, a beautiful, more warm tone because it is a warm, bronzy gold. But again, this looks good on everyone. This is the perfect one and done eyeshadow. I have done a video one and doneing this eyeshadow, but I can redo it if you would like. This shade is stunning, universally flattering, gives just enough color to add a little bit of warmth and definition to the eyes. You could use this through the crease as well if you don't mind a shade that has a little bit of reflect to it, because like I said, it's not a full-on metallic. It looks more metallic in the pot than it applies on the eyes, but it's definitely not a matte shade. It's stunning, however. Next up is the wild card of the bunch, and that is the shade Envy. And this is this really cool matte green. I've done many a St. Patty's Day tutorial using this shade, and the pigment of it is quite nice. It is a crazy shade though, but looks really pretty on and performs beautifully, which is most important. But it is this really beautiful, like, it's like the Riddler green. It is like lime green. It is so bright and gives such beautiful color payoff, but this does have a softness to it, so it's not stark and like, oh my god, like you can't take your eyes off it. But it's like, she's definitely using some color and she's having a good time. In fact, with this top I'm wearing, even this eye look I have on, it would look really pretty to have a kiss of that underneath the lashes. That is my preferred way to use this. You could use it as a liner as well. You could use any of these shades as a liner if you like, but this green one looks particularly nice. I think it's a really, really pretty, interesting and unique shade. I know it's probably not the most purchased shade, but I've done a couple tutorials using it showing that it is quite wearable if you use it in the right way, so I will include that down below as well. Next up, oh boy, did I have a phase with this, because this is one of the newer shades that have come out, and this is the shade Plum, so that's P-L-U-M-M. This is similar to Bronze in formula, but it is the most gorgeous metallic-y burgundy shade. Another great one and done eyeshadow look. You could put a little bit of Bronze in the crease just to deepen it up a touch, but this has a lot of red to it. So green and blue-eyed girls, this looks, I mean, just incredible. But these shades really do look good on everyone if you like warm tones. I think a lot of us do. Stunning shade. There's really nothing quite like this out there, especially not on the Integrity Botanicals website. So run and get this. This one and Oreo, I would say, are the two you like need in your life, and the rest we can kind of go from there. Next up is the shade Obscure, and these next two shades are great for liner because they're super, super deep shades. But you could also sheer them out and use them in the crease as well to add a bit of definition. Obscure is a deep, dark, super rich, chocolatey, matte brown. Very, very cool tones. I did use Bronze as a liner, but that tail end, I needed a little bit more definition, so that's where I went in with this. So you can make it quite dark as a liner. You can really sheer this out. A little bit of product, especially with the dark shades, goes a very long way. So make sure you are building these products up rather than just throwing them on the eyelid. And I do actually like to make sure I am using these in more thin layers, because I think that's how you get the best wear time out of these. Because remember, they're not creams, so I wouldn't really recommend layering, even though you totally can. I just don't think it's going to increase much longevity. But I do think that these last great, and you get the ease of use of a cream, but the lasting power of a powder. So this one is great as a liner, great to add a little bit of depth. It is a really rich, deep, dark, cool tone brown. And finally is the shade Charbon. And I think this is the most recent tutorial I've done using one of these shades. Charbon is a really rich, deep, dark black that has a little bit of shimmer in it. So it's not really flat, but it doesn't pick up shimmery on the eyes at all. And it is this sooty, rich, beautiful black. So I actually like to use the Rituel de Fille Orb gel liner pot. And then I would go in with something like this to either smoke it out or layer on top of. And these darker colors are so great as liner because they are so easily manipulated. Like if you use a really small angled brush, you just, and then you can clean it up with your finger if need be. They are gorgeous. And again, just make sure you are working in more thin layers to get the longevity out of them, and make sure you are screwing on that cap so you get the shelf life out of these products as well. But that is it, everyone. That is me revisiting the GRESSA eye tints. So many beautiful shades, vegan formulated. I mean, GRESSA could do very little wrong in my eyes. So I know that these could be a little bit intimidating, I think, because there's so many ways to use them. So if you'd like me to break it down a little bit more and show you on me, myself, and I, definitely let me know. But in the meantime, I will have a swatch photo of every single shade swatched next to each other in that description box down below. Not only that, I will have full ingredients so you can investigate, make sure that they are good for you to use. And I will also have direct links to these products. So if you were like, I need Oreo and Plum, Ashley told me so. And you need Cellophane too. Actually, what am I saying? Those are the top three for sure in my eyes. Anyway, I'm going to include direct links to these products down below so you can shop them right here, right now. But while you're down there, if you wouldn't mind, if you could please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe. I do upload new videos here twice weekly and I don't want you guys to miss them. Not only that, if you could share this video, that would be so incredibly helpful. If you're like, you have someone in your life who loves eyeshadow but hasn't quite went to green beauty yet and you want something that'll wow them, this is that product, so you could send this over. Or any products that I make, or any videos that I make, I would really, really appreciate it. But thank you as always for the continued love and support. I cannot explain how much it means to me, more than you will ever know. And any questions, comments, concerns, if you're like, oh, I'm having a hard time with one of these, I need your help, Ashley, leave me a comment. That is what I am here for. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and I will catch you guys in my next one. Bye.